Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Dispatch Chronicles. Alright, this time, what do we have? We have a flipped container. Goodness gracious. So we knew that rain was in the forecast. We had just attained a new major client company, so we had a couple of their containers, very legal weight, 40-foot containers. Some were 20 as well, all legal weight, so we just swapped the containers around. We'll be fine for the weekend. Y'all, Monday morning, I received a photo of what? The container flipped over on its side. I was like, oh man. I'm looking at the container number that he sends me and I'm going, this is not the sequence of the heavy containers. I'll go into the TMS system, I'll look the container up, and I see that the container is none other than my new client. My new client. This is who the container belonged to. And I was like, oh my gosh.
All right, let me give y'all a little bit of insight about working with new Intermodal clients. They're going to put the trucker on a trial basis. They want to make sure that you're going to pull the containers out of the port in a timely manner, be on time for all deliveries, and most importantly, communicate effectively with the customer, i.e. the broker or freight forwarder.
Very important factors when you're working with a new client. So the last thing I wanted to do was to let my new client know that a container had flipped over on our yard over the weekend. So I'm going, oh man, this client had already said if things go well, they would be sending all of their shipments to us. Again, this could be anywhere from 20 to maybe 30 containers a month. You want to have 4 or 5 customers that's sending you 20, anywhere from 10 to 15 to 20 containers a month. This is how you can get consistent work. This is how you can keep your wheels moving every single day. And so this is how you get that work, is being on time, being effective with communicating in a timely fashion. All of this plays a part. So to have to reach out and let them know that this happened, it was like I dreaded it. I did not want to have to send them the email to let them know, but of course I did. Their response was, oh no, basically they already had our information anyway, which they had to file a claim for this. But we also had to do our due diligence, was to call the wrecker out, get the container flip right side back up, and then wait for the customer to reach back and let us know where the container, whether they want us to bring the container. And lo and behold, guys, you just never would guess what the commodity was. Wait. Glass. It was glass. So needless to say, the entire shipment, probably $100,000 worth, was completely damaged. It was glass, flipped over. So yeah, that's how that went. Mistakes happen, things happen out of our control, but the takeaway for this is just to make sure that where you are storing your containers, just make sure as much as possible that you want to have them on a solid foundation, so that the container the chassis does not sink into the ground and the end of container can fall over, because we never know how these containers are, how the commodity is placed inside of these containers. Most of the time they are top heavy, but we don't know if they have balanced it out in there. It could have been short pieces of glass on this side, bigger pieces of glass on that side. We never know. Okay, so we just want to make sure that when we are placing them on our yards, just got to know the trucker is 100% responsible for the container. If there's any damage, if there's any burglaries, if there's anything done to that container, the trucker is responsible for it. You guys tuning in now, so if there's a situation where you have to keep containers on your yard, you definitely want to make sure that you're taking all precautions, parking them on cement if possible, preferable and recommended. But if there's not cement, definitely get it on some gravel, some type of solid ground. Put a 2x4, some type of wood or something under it, so therefore that, you know, it does not sink into the ground if there's rain in the forecast. Or simply try to get it delivered. Okay, the reason why we could not deliver the containers and we had to bring them back to our yard is because the receiver stopped receiving. I can't remember if this was a Friday before a holiday. I really want to think it was, and that was the reason why the receiver stopped receiving earlier than normal. But it could have been just the fact that we pulled it out of the port in not enough time to actually get it over to the receiver. So either way, just make sure if you're having to store containers on your property, make sure that they are as stable as possible, and just make sure you're looking at the weather. The weather is very important. If you found this video to be helpful, if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe, give this video a like so that it can help out my channel and go around to others who also may be looking for content like this. And definitely hit that notification bell so you are notified the very next time I upload. And if you are someone who's looking to get into Intermodal and you want to learn more about containers, how this process works, I do offer an online self-paced course, and I do offer one-on-one training. Send me a message or check out my www.securedlogisticsllc.com, and that's SECURED logisticsllc.com. Thank you.